Pokemon! It's
Taxifillum barbieri.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Shrimp Simp channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about one of my all-time favourite aquatic plants, and that's Java moss. There's a reason why Java moss is used in aquariums all over the world, and I'm going to share my knowledge about what Java moss is and why I like to use it in my tanks, and a super easy, low budget method of creating your own infinite Java moss farm. Let's get into it. So, what is Java moss? It's a freshwater aquatic plant known for its lush green colour, easy care, and its many beneficial effects in an aquarium. It has a furry appearance with lots of small stems growing out of it that are tightly packed together. Unlike a normal plant, Java moss doesn't have roots and instead have tiny little feet called rhizoids that stick to its surroundings, which means you can pretty much slap it anywhere and it's good to go. So why do I like to use Java moss? Java moss can have a number of purposes in an aquarium. Java moss simply looks beautiful. Nothing beats a large bush of Java moss on a piece of bogwood flowing in the current. It's so calming. It can also be used to create a lush carpet in an aquarium, which gives off a mysterious jungle vibe. It's very common to see Java moss being used in aquariums that want to have a more natural look. Breeding. My cherished tiny shrimplets absolutely love hiding in and amongst the Java moss, which makes them feel safe until they're big and confident enough to explore other parts of the tank. And if you're addicted to keeping other aquatic friends like me and you keep fish too, then the added bonus of Java moss is that fish such as danios, killifish, borers prefer to lay their eggs in Java moss due to the shelter it provides from predators, and once the baby fish have hatched from their eggs, the Java moss also harbours microorganisms such as infusoria that live within the Java moss, which little baby fishies can then eat. But wait, there's more. Java moss is also a natural filter. It has the ability to remove excess nutrients like nitrates, which at certain levels can be toxic and potentially kill our pets. So by having Java moss, it literally improves the health of our aquatic buddies. And last but not least, another benefit of removing nutrients such as nitrates is the effect this has on algae, the sworn enemy of shrimp and fish keepers. Because for a lot of us, it's an unsightly and unwanted nuisance, a bit like how I felt when I was growing up. The Java moss competes with the algae for nutrients, which helps to regulate the algae growth. Algae isn't inherently bad. However, we need to strike a balance and not let the algae take over our aquarium. Unless that's your goal, which is cool, man. I wish it was my goal, because I can't stop the ruddy stuff growing in my aquariums. So to sum up, it looks good, makes your pets feel safe, and naturally cleans your aquarium. What more could you ask for? So now I've explained why you should have Java moss in your aquarium, let's talk about the type of environment Java moss prefers and where it comes from. Java moss is from Southeast Asia and natively grows in Thailand, the Philippines, Papua New Guinea and Indonesia. Java moss prefers temperatures on the warmer side, so around 24 degrees. It can tolerate up to 30 degrees and as low as 12 degrees. I personally have most of my tanks at 22 degrees and it grows great. A pH between 5 and 8. For reference, tap water generally comes out at 7, so you should be good to go with your standard tap water. Like most aquatic plants, Java moss can benefit greatly from CO2 and high lighting. In my personal experience, it doesn't need these added extras to have steady growth. So as you can see, Java moss can survive in a wide range of water parameters and is fairly low maintenance. This makes it a great plant for any aquarium and any skill level. Now, what you've all been waiting for, how to create your own low budget, infinite Java moss farm. Once you've got this bad boy set up, your friends and family won't be able to stop complimenting you on the sheer amount of healthy and vigorous growing Java moss you have. And fellas, the women love it. So what you'll need to set up your low-tech infinite Java moss farm are a cheap full spectrum light. Having either a built-in timer or a plug timer will help take some of the legwork out of our little farm. A seed sprouter tray. You can get these from your local garden centre or Amazon. I've put a link in the description of this video on the trays that I like to use. A basic water spray bottle, some fertiliser. Normal aquarium fertiliser works perfectly fine. Or, if you want to be fancy, you can try using an aquaponic fertiliser. However, from my experience, a standard all-purpose aquarium fertiliser works a treat. And of course, good old Java moss. I'd recommend getting one of those little tubs by Tropco, since it should be algae-free from the get-go, and you can pick them up at pretty much any large pet store retailer. So now you've got all the gear, let's set this baby up. First, find a flat area where you can place your seed sprouter tray and hang your lighting a couple of inches above it. Make sure whatever you're putting it on is waterproof or water resistant, as it will get a little damp as part of the misting process. Now, cut up the moss into small strands, roughly 2 to 3 centimeters long. I like to use scissors because it's easier. Then lay your Java moss strands all over the seed sprouters tray with a bit of space between each strand. The more surface area you can cover, the more Java moss you'll grow. Now fill up your water bottle. Now you can use leftover tank water, which may already have fertiliser in it, or you can make your own mix by filling the water spray bottle up with dechlorinated tap water and a bit of your aquarium fertiliser. I like to use 1 milliliter of fertiliser per litre of water. I find that because the Java moss has constant access to CO2 and light, it can utilise more fertiliser and grow much faster than in my aquariums. Finally, give your moss a good misting so it's wet all over. Turn your light on and set up the timer if you have one. If you don't have a timer, that's absolutely fine. You'll just need to turn it on and off each day. I like to keep my light on for about 10 hours a day. I'd recommend keeping the light on between 8 to 12 hours a day on your mini moss farm, but experiment with it, because that's how you'll figure out what works best for you. All you need to do now is maintenance, which boils down to misting your moss when it gets dry. I like to mist my moss roughly every other day, but that might be different for you depending on what climate you live in. I've even used the same technique on different species of moss and seen great results, such as peacock moss, weeping moss, Christmas moss, the list goes on. It's a secret aquarium cheat code and will save you loads of money, and maybe even make you some money if you sell it to others in the hobby. Alright, so that's been my Java moss species spotlight. I hope you enjoyed learning about Java moss and how such a simple little plant can bring so many benefits to your aquarium. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.